Hey, what's going on, guys? Travis Patel here. Thank you so much for joining me in the webinar tonight. I hope you get a lot from what we're about to talk about. Recently, we had a campaign kind of take off. We had a shirt that started doing really well, and right at this time, I came across Matt Schmidt's and Alberto's Pi Scaled product, and they showed a lot of the techniques and the systems they're using to scale their campaigns, their shirts, their winning products and ad campaigns. And it was very structured and templated out to where it's very easy to follow and rinse and repeat, where my system's very sporadic and all over the place, and I didn't have a very organized system with my scaling process. So I wanted to try a few of their techniques, plus put some of the things that I do into play just when we have a winning campaign. And that's exactly what we did. We had a great month with it, and only really focused on it for 2 weeks and set up a lot of scaling ads, did all the first processes, got busy, and went out of town on conferences and some mastermind events, and just kind of wasn't able to do the things with the ads and scale as intensively as we'd like to, especially with the shirt angle that we went. It was a very limited window that we had, as I'll explain here in a second. But with even this short amount of time, only about a week and a half, 2 weeks of work of checking the ads and monitoring them, we did really well, and made a good 5-figure profit mark over that period of time, just letting those ads sit. So let's go ahead and talk about exactly what this campaign was, how it did, why it did well, how the scaling worked, how we scaled, and all that good stuff. So this is just a single campaign, so excuse if it's a little shorter of a webinar. It's not going to be an hour or so, or an hour and a half like our normal webinars, but we'll jump into the details of, like I said, what happened in this campaign. Now, first off, step one with this, that we had to come up with a plan. We launched this, I think it was like the first or second week of May, and this was really late, but at this time we were thinking people are about to graduate from high school, they're about to graduate from college, so we wanted to hit those soon-to-be graduates. And this is just like, one of those buzz type of feelings or buzz events that you can do really well with if you have the right design. So we know that design, after launching so many shirts, I know that design is the most important part when it comes to having a winning campaign. If you have great targeting but a horrible design, it doesn't really matter. People aren't going to buy because they don't want to wear that on their chest, and they don't want to represent that. But if you have bad targeting, bad advertising, but your design is just absolutely awesome, and it's showing to a general consensus of people who would like that, then you're still going to see some sales coming through, and that just shows you how important design is. So we took all this into consideration with our plan on the attack and design we want to go with. So we chose to go after, like I said, the graduation. We combined it with a hot niche, which is Harry Potter in this case, and we just had our designer hit something out of the park, as I'll show you in a second. Now, with this in mind, knowing we want to hit the hot niches, we wanted to do graduation angle, and we needed a hot design, we wanted to go out and do some market research, see what's out there, see what we can turn into a quality t-shirt design that people might enjoy. So one of my favorite spots to look for design ideas, just things that are heartfelt or really funny in your niches, is a simple Google search. So what I did is I went to Google and I searched for funny graduation caps, which is this right here, exactly what we came up with. And we get all these different graduation caps that have funny stuff on them that you can turn into a t-shirt for graduation very easily. Game of Loans, that would be easy to target for Game of Thrones people that are graduating. Look at me, I'm getting my paper. That's just kind of general graduation. Because Hogwarts didn't take FAFSA, that's another Harry Potter angle that we could have done. 99 problems with degree ain't one. All these are really good examples of possible T-shirt ideas. And then as you see, we have here's Master gave Dobby a diploma. Dobby is free. So we saw this one, and this is what we went with. I think it was actually this one that stood out. Master has given Dobby a diploma. Dobby is free, and Dobby is a little Harry Potter character, and it's got the year of the graduation. So this gave us the idea on what we want to do with our shirt, and this is exactly what we did with it, this design, in our own little special way, as you'll see here. But this is how we did the research on finding a quality graduation design to go. Now, next off, we had to dial in our targeting, see how we could angle our ads in Facebook to hit all different angles, see what would be the best way to start, see what our options are. So we just use the audience insights for this, which is this right here. Now, like I said, we're combining, we saw that was a Harry Potter design on that graduation cap. So we want to look for some Harry Potter interest, which at the time of starting this, we were still using the page post engagement ad technique to start our ads, to test things out with grouped interest, whereas today, over the past few weeks, a month here, we've changed up our ad style to where about 85% of our ads are website conversion ads, even our initial starting ad, and we have our ads be much broader as far as our audiences and what we're targeting. We're targeting one interest at a time in these ads. So today, when I start an ad up to test, we would just use the interest Harry Potter and really just let that multiple millions of people optimize as we have the ad go, especially if you have a winner that you know is going to sell. This allows Facebook the time to really optimize it in. Now we'll dial in the ages, we'll dial in the genders, we'll dial in the placement, we'll dial in behaviors, but our interests and as far as the audience I want to reach for these days as a start, we go much broader. But at the time of starting this, we did the PPE campaign, so we were using a lot of different interests. So we did the usual audience insights research, where you can go in here, type in Harry Potter, click page likes, and it'll give you some suggestions on other interests that you can target in your ad that would be related. And you can find some good gems as you dive through here. Harry Potter is a large interest, 10 million to 15 million people, whereas if we dial it into something more focused on targeted, real, heavy-duty Harry Potter fans, then you're going to get some other ideas, other page interests that you can target. So for Harry Potter, one is like MuggleNet. So we'll go MuggleNet. 150,000. So now we get some, unique ideas on interest. Pottermore, that's one we can target. The Leaky Cauldron, the Harry Potter Alliance, Weasley's Wizarding Wheezes, Percy Jackson, that's another storyline, I believe. So you can see all types of cool little stuff. A Harry Potter musical. These are all different, small, more targeted, dialed in interests that we do use in our scaling and targeting process, but we're really looking for the really large audiences these days, like I said. But this is how you go about the audience insights research here to find your options and things like that. Yes. Okay. Yeah, well, we'll answer questions at the end, too, so, yeah. All right, so next off, what you can also look at is the demographics. What is this audience? So let's go, hey, MuggleNet was dialed in to find, a lot of different a lot of different interests that you can use in your ads. Here for demographics, we're looking at kind of the main group of people. For Harry Potter, it looks like 74% are women. In the 18 to 24 group, it's the largest, 25 to 34. So we're looking at our best age groups to target with our ads going to be 18 to 34. Women would be ideal, but men would still be pretty good in that group. But after, a lot of testing in the Harry Potter niche and this type of fantasy story niche, we see that 18 to 34 definitely is our best converting. Really, like 18 to 30, and 30 sometimes is reaching with depending on the product and the design. So that's how we go about researching our targeting group. What we want to do. In this case, with my guys, when we jump into a new niche, we like to do extensive research, and this kind of creates a whole master list of all the interests that we can find in the niche. So this is our Google Drive, and we create a little master list like this that has them all listed out. We can see all the different Harry Potter interests that we can use. So that's just good for scaling. That's good for knowing what the next move is. And if you have one ad that with a shirt that doesn't work, you try just one or two or three, then you have the list of the next steps to take to improve that ad, maybe get better conversions, what you're going to do next time, things like that. Alright, so that is how we went about targeting in step 2 of the process. And in step 3, and for this one we didn't do much of this until lately with, when you're creating your own store. We use our own e-commerce store. If you're using Teespring these days, they have the store feature. If you're using Gear Bubble, it's a store setup. I believe Viral Style might have that as well. But what those stores are set up, they're great little pages to increase the order amounts that people are making. So they come in, they see the initial shirt that you're selling, they come and they have a related products area or a store area where they can see other products related to that you have on sale. They might add 1 or 2 or 3 of those to the cart, and an order that was $30 for a shirt now becomes $150 for a hoodie and a tank top and a shirt, or something like that. So that happens a lot if you have the right collections and the right options for buyers to add more products to the cart and add related products that are just displayed there. Next up, you have upsells that you can use. In this case, we tried a few upsells in the e-commerce setting, where we have a store setting, kind of like any other e-commerce store you see. The one-click upsells, right when they're clicking add to cart or when they're clicking checkout, it has been dropping our conversions more so than helping add products to the cart. So we don't have upsells turned on right now, but we're using buyer autoresponders very heavily. So when someone buys, they could get a bunch of emails sent to them on a periodic period to give them discount codes, sell them other products, show them related products that are working well, that they might like as well, different things like that. So that's what we're really having success with in our e-commerce store. Now, if I was using Teespring, Gear Bubble, something like that, we definitely are setting up upsells for every single product in place, and that just adds that easy money where it's happening after the purchase, kind of like a buyer autoresponder, but those upsells are key to adding more to what you're doing. So with the campaign that we're about to jump through, just on round 1, round 2 of the ads, this is how it did. Like I said, it's very minimal effort. We did about a week and a half to 2 weeks of advertising, just watching the stats, seeing what's going on. And then because it was graduation, we did start like early to mid-May. We started the game really late, where next year we know start dates in like February. But for this year, we started in May, and really everyone ends graduation. They all graduate by like the first week of June, mid-June at the latest, and that really killed the sales ever since the beginning of June. The whole graduation pump is gone. A lot of people bought the shirts to have before graduation as it's coming. Parents saw it, oh, we need this. And we had a little bit of issue there with scalable press. Just with their printing, they got really bogged down with the orders that were coming in, and we did, 850 sales on this that came in really quick. So a lot of those were not getting shipped out in time anyways. Even though we were doing a late campaign, we had to find a new fulfiller to fill the gaps and get things shipped out and double order some things. But still, we were able to come on top a solid $10,000. And it broke down kind of like this. We had $2,300 ad spend, which we'll jump in here with the PPE campaigns that we started and tested with, and we jumped into the website conversion campaigns to scale and do all that good stuff. Now, out of this $2,300 ad spend, we were able to generate 846 sales. I really wanted to break the 1,000 sale mark by the time we got to this webinar, but after June, like 2nd, 3rd, sales and conversions have been just like dead. Whereas we had a really boost period there for the first 2-3 weeks that we just sold a solid like 800, 750. Now it's more about thinking about next year how we'll do it, as I'm going to talk about later in the webinar. Now, out of the 846 sales, that generated $22,970.70 as far as revenue goes. That is with hoodies, tank tops, t-shirts, and long sleeves. So we had 4 color options. Black, blue, green, purple maybe. Can't remember. Now, material cost was roughly $8,000. This includes shipping as well. Now, the cool thing here is we had 846 sales, and we're doing our fulfillment, and we get to choose the option for screen printing at this level. Now, if you're finding those fulfillers out there, then you're not using the middleman platforms, then you get some super cheap costs where you're getting like $5 to $6 per shirt with like $2-3 shipping costs. So you're talking $7 to $8, under $10 per sale per shirt, where we're charging $25 at minimum for a t-shirt plus $5 shipping. So we're getting, if it's $10 cost per shirt at most, then we're seeing $20 profit per sale at least. So that was really cool. We did have to have some double orders with our second fulfiller just so that we could make up on the first order that was getting bogged down. We did get all those orders credited to us. We have been having a customer support nightmare over the past few weeks, just with people from late April and early May, or early May, mid-May, ordering shirts and have not received them even yet, or just can't find them, misplaced, all that type of stuff. So we're just coming out of that period now when we have the multiple fulfillers so that we can make things happen. But we had about $8,000 material costs and shipping as far as the base shirts went, and out of this, that means about $10,000 profit, a little bit more. We're still selling these now, but like I said, very, very slowly compared to how it was. So that is how the campaign was set up. That's what happened with it. Now we'll jump into just the ads of what went on. Round 1, testing. Like I said, we did PPE ads, which is just the page post engagement, when we did a broad list of interests. So here is our initial PPE campaign, and here is our ad, and you can see the shirt and everything. So there is the same design used for as the graduation cap. So Master has given Dobby a diploma. Dobby is free. A little Dobby-looking character. Class 2015. Looks good. So out of this, we were targeting 17 to 25-year-old females. These are girls that just graduated. We were thinking college and high school. And we did our initial ad here. Oh, I even forgot about this. We actually crossed interest. We intersected interest here, where we were targeting Harry Potter And then we were also targeting graduation, college prep type of interest. So this is more going for those high school grad girls that were just graduating. So that 250,000 there reach. Let that run. This one was really killer. You know, these first 7 days, I think 8 days, we were getting $0 per post engagement cost. Even after this whole run of a month, we are at 1 cent per post engagement cost, which is awesome. Still 10 for 10, 12% click-through rating, and this is a PPE, so you're going to get those higher click-through ratings with the viral campaign, stuff like that. You get those low costs, those good numbers, and this really got people sharing it. Now in the PPE campaign, we targeted not only women that were the young girls that were just graduating 17 to 25, but we were also targeting the mothers of graduates. So in this case, we were thinking interest of Harry Potter, women 25 to 54, and then we did the parents selection, 18 to 26-year-old parents with adult children. So that was those mothers of mothers who were fans of Harry Potter. So their children were probably fans of Harry Potter. You know, just with that thought in mind. And this one was really, it had less click-through rating and things like that, and higher cost per post engagement. But this was definitely our better seller in the beginning with the PPE ads. The parents were the ones obviously buying this product because it was usually a graduation gift for their children. Okay, so that is how we started just our test. Now, kind of how it went down is we had the first few days we saw we had a huge winner. Like I said, we were getting a lot of good sales coming through. We obviously had a really high ROI here. So about day 4 or 5, we decided it was time to turn on the scaling, the WC part of this. And this is where we discovered the pie scale techniques, and we're able to put them into play with the system we were using so that we could maximize sales. So it really helped us hit probably an extra couple hundred sales, the way we were able to break things down and just not scale too quickly as far as scaling up goes, as far as increasing budgets and spending more per ad. And that's what we've really learned here lately, is you don't want to bump an individual ad or ad set budget too much and too quickly, because Facebook is optimizing your ad at all times, and the longer you let it see the traffic, the more it can optimize that who it's showing it to. And if you bump that budget too quickly, then Facebook has to allow more people to come in and see your offer. So this dilutes the traffic coming in, dilutes the optimization that Facebook is doing at that initial budget level. So if you don't bump up accordingly in the right sequential order, then you're not going to have the best optimization from Facebook. And that's really the key to having these campaigns that just kill with as far as ROI goes, is allow Facebook to really optimize what's going on there. Give them the pieces, the breakdown to optimize it correctly, and then let them do their job. And that's really what we want to do these days. But get off a tangent. But anyways, after the first 7-8 days, we saw this was a winner. We knew it was time to start diving in. We looked at the reports. If you go to Facebook reports on the side here, you can look at what's going on. We saw that the parents one was selling a ton more, like a third more, but still this 70 to 25 one was still having a positive ROI, a smaller ROI by quite a bit compared to the parents, but it was bringing in such good cost per engagement and viral activity. It was getting all those moms seeing it. They were tagging all their mothers. They were tagging their friends who were tagging their mothers. And it really just blew up and caused those shares to make a ton of our sales. So that was round one. That's just how we started. That was the first 4 days and how we tested things out and went with it that way. Now from here, it was round two, which we started the scaling process. And like I said, I was just talking about scaling up. So we did it very slowly these days. We start at $5 a day budget, and I really barely ever even bump up from $5 a day, but when I do have a really good campaign that's taking off like this one, then I'll try and get at least to $10 to $20 per ad if I can. These days, I'm only bumping like 10 to 15 to 20% at most per day after I've let it optimize for a few days on the first run. So I let my ad sit at $5 a day for 3-4 days, let Facebook optimize it, check out what's happening, and then if we're having a really great ROI still, then I start bumping it 10 to 20% per day until we hit that max of, $20, $25 really at this point. I don't really go much higher than that in a single ad set. I'd rather do what they call scaling out, whereas instead of scaling up, when we bump budgets on a single ad, where we go from $10 to $20 and show more people. Instead, we like to scale out now, which is breaking down what that initial audience is. So if we're targeting in that first ad 25 to 64 females, or 25 to 64 male and female on mobile and desktop targeting Harry Potter, then we can scale out in a ton of different ways. We can scale out by separating the ad between gender and having 2 ad sets there. We can separate the ad by placement by having 4 separate ad sets where it'd have 2 different that are mobile, 2 that are desktop. We can separate that by age groups where Facebook really dials it into 10-year age groups where it'd be 18 or it'd be 25 to 34, 35 to 44, 45 to 54, and 55 to 64, 65 plus. So we can break it down to those. These days, even if we do the giant broad targeting that we do, sometimes I'll even break it down to 2 to 1 year, or 1 or even 2 or 2 or even 1 year intervals, where it's like every single year we'll just have 1 year targeted on each individual ad. Just so that we can break it down and let Facebook really optimize, like I said, these really broad, giant interests like Harry Potter. We'll still have hundreds of thousands to even a million, a couple million in that single ad set, even with a one year age group. Now, we can also scale out by creating that same targeting breakdown, but using different interests. Like I said, we had the master list we created, so we have that whole list of interests that we can use in individual ads and break it down the same way between all those demographic pieces and see what converts the best there. That's all what scaling out is creating as many ads as possible that are scaling out, breaking it out to where you're getting dialed in even more on who you're targeting and what's going on. So that's one way to go about scaling out. Next off, we have things that we call custom audiences. Custom audiences are, killer. Our custom audience here, Dobby graduation, we've got 3,800 people. This was, 3,800 people is a ton of people for your custom audience. You set this up on day 1 of your campaign when you're launching. And anyone who visits the sales page, Facebook collects here. So we have 3,800 people that we set up ads for. One way to go about it is we can set up ads using this audience. We do this for a few reasons. One, we'll use a retargeting ad where we use this to sell or show these same people that saw this product, show them again, because statistically it takes like 7 to 10 views on a product sales page for the person to actually buy that's interested. So we have these people that visit our page, these 4,000 people, and we show them ads 7 to 10 times so that they hit that view mark enough where they purchase. So let's see what we got here. Where is our... Here's a retargeting ad we've got with this one. We broke it down. We're retargeting ads into each individual style. So we had the shirts, hoodies, tank tops, and long sleeves. So this one is the shirts version. a retargeting ad, so that's using that same audience I showed you over here. Doing pretty well, $6.39. We, it's best, usually if I really want to do retargeting heavy duty, what we'll do is we'll start testing like 50 to 100 different images and ad copy styles and variations just to see what's working the best, because retargeting is a little trickier, to hit that super great money mark. I mean, it's not trickier, but because it's the easiest traffic to get, anything almost sells on retargeting. But to get those super great numbers, it's best to test all different variations, see what's going to pop with them, instead of that same old white background, blank T-shirt they've seen already in the initial ad and probably your first retargeting ad, things like that. Like, we could have another retargeting ad that could be the third or fourth or seventh view the viewer sees, has a red striped rainbow background and different colors and stuff like that, and that might be what just like makes it tick in their head after they've seen this one over and over again. Okay, I need to buy this. Boom. So that's retargeting ads, and now we would use the custom audience. Now, next off, you can create lookalike audiences from this custom audience. You can also do this from conversion pixels. Now, if you set up a conversion pixel, we have a conversion pixel on our e-commerce store, but it's just for the entire store. So we didn't create lookalike audiences for that, for the store pixel, for this shirt. And now if we had individual shirt pixel here, we would have definitely created lookalike audiences around that pixel, and this would have been a great way to boost reach and make more sales. We just didn't have that in place on our e-commerce store since we're just building it out and we haven't got the code set or anything like that. So we didn't bother with it, and it lost a lot of sales. We don't have it, but it will be in place here shortly that we can do on our next campaign. Something you should definitely do when you're scaling out, though, on your campaigns. If you have that individual product pixel on the page, or even a niche-specific pixel, then go for it. Our lookalike audiences that we used for the Dobby here didn't really pan out great. This was a lookalike audience at 4%, had a reach of 4.4 million. We used the interest Harry Potter just to kind of dial it in even more. We sold to 1033 conversion. Still was making us money, but just not at the level we wanted it to, so shut that one off. Probably should have let it run a little bit longer. Only spent 20 bucks. Had a lot more traffic going on since, but made that judgment call at the dime, so we stuck with it. So lookalike audiences and retargeting is the way to go. Next off, we have behaviors, which is something that we're starting to use right now. We saw this option pop up where we have behaviors, parents of graduates 2015, and we have behaviors, graduates of 2015, somewhere around here. Oh, maybe not. Alright, well, we got the behaviors here that we're using to target, and this is just the new ads that we're trying out. Just started today, actually. But that's another way that we're scaling this process. And we look at the entire campaign we set up, and this is what we set up in those 10 days. You saw the burst here. This is about when I stopped messing with it. I created these other ads. I guess it's probably around, probably 17th. Day 4 is usually how long it takes to do $20. That's why I'll do the website conversion stuff. I think I added them here, and then we got this burst. And then we had the graduation started to kick in. These are when people were graduating, and now we're at the end where it's just kind of dying out on us. So we have the new ads that we set up just today with the behaviors. That was a new targeting availability, option availability that Facebook made, so that's cool. We have the retargeting ads we're running right now. We've got the age groups separated with the interests, like the major interests out there. So 17 to 20 females are a big one for us. 17 to 18, we're even dialing it in. So that one age group. Parents to adult children. We're going mobile only on most of this. We didn't separate this as well as we should have, where we would have had mobile and desktop. We didn't even do any desktop ads on this side. Maybe our retargeting ads we did do desktop a little bit. As you can see, our lookalikes didn't really pan out in the custom audiences. They would have panned out much better on the conversion pixels. The retargeting tank tops we shut off, and a few of our ad sets that weren't converting very well for us. We definitely had a lot more interest options we could have used. We had a lot more separations that we could have done in a time frame. And if I didn't go out of town and was able to really dive into this, we would have been able to just absolutely crush it. And that's given us insight to next year on what's going to happen. But I guess also let me mention before I talk about the plan for next year and where we're going with this. Another way we decided to scale with this is we have now an asset of graduates from 2015. So what we did is we set up a mug. We started selling a graduate mug, some necklaces on Gear Bubble for graduates, and other related shirts. So we even did another Harry Potter shirt that is Mischief Managed for the class of 2015 that has actually been doing really well. Sold another like 150, 200 there. And that's just using that same custom retargeting audience to send to that new shirt, plus the email platform we've built with them, and the leads and all that stuff. So that's just how we've been able to scale out. And really, we have made, if you count that Mischief Managed shirt, we have been able to sell over 1,000 copies and probably do a solid, 26,000, 27,000 revenue, which is solid. Now, after this whole campaign, it's really given me some insight on what I should do next year. I see how powerful graduation is and these really one big off events that happen. As you know, the Pi Scaled product that gave me the scaling kind of ideas of what's going on, of how to break it down and kind of organize where we should go with it. They were selling a shirt that was focused on the Pi Day, the once-in-a-lifetime event. So this is, how we're kind of going about our big shirts now, is the once-in-a-lifetime events that we can hit out of the park. So for next year, we're thinking, let's hit this graduation market again. So one great thing to do is we've got a whole year to plan and prepare. So what we're going to do is we're going to start really focusing on seniors this year and mothers of seniors, and build those audiences, those custom audiences, those buyer lists, and those prospect leads as big as possible over the next 8 months. And then when February hits next year, we're going to launch a crap ton of graduation shirts and products and really hit this market hard. And that's an easy way to do a good, I'm sure, $500,000 to $1 million in that simple 2 to 3 month period of getting people graduated and excited about that once-in-a-lifetime event, especially if you plan it correctly and get the right audiences and assets in place. So that is it, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this. We're going to go ahead and answer some questions now. That's pretty much the rundown of that campaign. It was a good one, ran well for us. Like I said, it's dying out now. Graduation's over. You can always hit it next year. They are graduations in the summer and in December, but then those aren't going to be as, as heavy duty as the end of the year high school type graduation. Especially with these video game, fantasy, movie, nerd-esque type of niches, because those are very young crowd, young base, where they're even more high school than they are college. So, hope you guys enjoy this again. Let's go ahead and we'll dive into questions here, and alright, so let's see what we got here.